This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second episode of our talk show, Speak to the Specialist. In today's episode, we're having Roselle Ashton all the way from Essex, UK via Zoom. Roselle is a secondary school mathematics teacher. Welcome, Roselle.
Hi, Dania.
Hello. Roselle, thank you for being with us today. So, Roselle, I know you are a biomedical sciences graduate, but in the same time, you have chosen to become a mathematics teacher. So, can you talk us through about your passion towards mathematics and why did you want to become a teacher?
So my passion for maths didn't really sort of come to fruition until I was in my third year at university. So during my dissertation, it was very statistics based. So I had quite a lot of experience in coding and working along the math side of science. So that really sort of just sparked a passion, and I sort of wanted to instill that in children, that maths isn't just something that they learn in school, it's something that they can take forward into their later studies or perhaps into their real life. So I found that really super interesting, and I wanted to make that part of my career. Initially, I wanted to be a teacher because my mum was a teacher and she was very successful, and that was just something that I'd always considered. But after doing work experience in a school, I decided that it was definitely the career for me. It was something that I was quite passionate about and I enjoyed doing. So that was initially why I wanted to become a teacher.
Interesting. So, Roselle, as a teacher yourself and as a teacher of math in particular, I'm sure you've come across this a lot, and many people all around the globe find mathematics as a very difficult, as a very challenging topic to study, whether at school or at university. So, as a teacher of that particular subject, what would be your piece of advice for students struggling, even though they say we work really, really hard, but still do not get the results they would like to get?
So I think one amazing thing that has come from the whole COVID situation around the world is that our online resources have become quite specialist. So students, particularly at my school, that are struggling, we direct them in that sense so that they can complete independent study. They can work on the things that they find challenging. Also, it's really important to obviously encourage, particularly the children that I teach, to reach out to somebody, talk to teachers, and ask for that support, because, like you said, it's quite hard for some students to find challenging sort of topics that they need to go through. So I think obviously using that extra work and being able to focus on those skills that they need to will obviously help them succeed in that.
Interesting. So, being a teacher by itself brings so much burden, because there's so much work that teachers do, not only at school, but also after school. So I'm pretty sure that you have come across so many challenges, and you're still young as well. So can you talk us through some of those challenges and how were you able to overcome them?
So, like you said, there are lots of challenges with teaching, not just in terms of what you teach the children, but also in how you interact with them. So my biggest challenge, I think, in becoming a teacher was dealing with the behaviour. So at my current school, the behaviour all in all is good, but sometimes certain students can pose a challenge. They perhaps might come from backgrounds which are a little bit difficult, so they find it hard to cope with being in school or cope with learning new things. So what I found is that in order to overcome that, there's quite a necessity to build positive relationships with those students. So not just with the class, but with those individual students who struggle slightly more. So by building those positive relationships, I'm then able to sort of sway them in the direction of wanting to achieve, wanting to succeed a little bit more than they did before. And that just sort of enables them to manage their behaviour inside the classroom so that they don't disrupt others. And it means that the classroom is sort of a motivating place to be, and they like to work.
Nice, that's really lovely. And Roselle, there are many graduates around the globe that are thinking of becoming a teacher like yourself. But maybe they have some fear, maybe they have they need someone to just guide them in the right direction. So as a teacher yourself, what would be, I would say, the keys of success that you would like to share with those graduates? And what do you think the first step they need to take forward should be?
Their first step perhaps should be, whilst they're at university, if they're considering that teaching is something that they would like to do, is to try to get a little bit of work experience. So that doesn't have to be teaching in a school, you might not be allowed to do that, but it might just be helping support or helping perhaps a charity that deals with children, just so that you gain a little bit of experience in working with kids or perhaps teaching something new, so that you can kind of decide whether at that point that kind of career would be for you. In terms of graduate sort of prospects, it's quite important to sort of get in early with a couple of teacher training providers so that you can understand how you might want to learn to teach. So there's routes that you may learn to teach in a school, and that gives you first-hand experience, or you might want to train using a university and gain a PGCE, a postgraduate qualification that way. So there's lots of opportunities for you to obviously weave into teaching, and that can happen in the best way that suits you. Some people might prefer the university route, some might prefer the school route, but it comes down to, obviously, if that is your passion, that is something that you'd like to do, then 100% go for it. I think it's an amazing career. But if it's not entirely for you, I think I would consider sort of getting a bit of work experience and deciding whether it is something that you'd like to make your career before you start on that journey.
Yes, because it's not an easy job at all. So teaching is not an easy job. Teaching has so much burden that comes with it. But at the same time, you managed to be an amazing Zumba trainer, and I've taken part myself in some of your online classes. And, just having that teaching and having a Zumba training thing, and then obviously having your own social life. How are you able to balance all of those in a way that would keep you going, that would keep you motivated, that would make you wake up the next day happy and passionate?
So I think for me, organisation is the key. So unless I'm organised with the work that I need to get done that week, I find it really hard to sort of manage in my head what I'm going to do when. So there's lots of challenges, like you say, that come with teaching, but sort of there's deadlines that you need to meet with data and stuff for each child, and there might be a parents' evening that pops up in the middle of the week. So it's really important to be organised and have everything set out, but I like to try and sort of set aside social times, especially during the weekends where I'm not doing any work and I can completely switch off. In terms of the Zumba, I'm currently teaching the classes at my school, so that helps me out in terms of travel. So that's really good, and I'm enjoying that. But yeah, social life is quite hard to fit in if you're not organised as a teacher. So I definitely say that you need to be on top of everything, and set aside some time to do the things that you really love to keep you sort of motivated and not dreading work on a Monday morning.
Roselle, that was really beneficial. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I'm pretty sure that so many people, including myself, will benefit from all those small and lovely tips that you've shared with us today. To everyone watching, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and looking forward to be with you again in our third episode. Have a lovely night.